And I'm going to be showing you some strategy tools that we use to be able to help create a brand architecture, a foundation to be able to use specifically for business. And in this case, one of the supermodels that I want to go through is more of a practical approach. And in this case, we're going to be using SEO. It's obviously super important for everything that we do online and how we do it and that sort of thing. So we just want to make sure that we're using the tools properly and that we can see what the SEO model looks like, and B, we can actually put it into a format. We can rethink and reimagine how we can actually see things a little bit differently using our supermodel tool as well. So I'm going to get into that right away coming up. And I've got my trusty strategy cam as well that's going to kind of show us everything that we need to be able to see here. And I'm going to walk you through this specific model, the strategy supermodel for SEO. A lot of S's on this one today, to give you an idea of how we can actually use this to help our business and to build rather and grow a business using some strategy tools, some strategic thinking, and seeing what it is that's really important here with our business and how we can create that foundation as well. So today the topic is SEO, the four pillars of SEO, as most of us are aware of. And if you're not, then guess what? You can actually use this as a great little knowledge tool as well to be able to see what it is that we wanted to be able to build into this as well. So I'm going to go into the four pillars of SEO, and just so you know, like we can build these other models for other concepts and other ideas as well. There's the Ikigai model. There's the AMPS model, which is one of the foundation models that we use here. There's a specific SWOT model as well. In this case, we use this one for Salesforce, where we can actually go through each of the parameters, the elements of SWOT: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. But now we want to do SEO. So let's get into the SEO side of things. And we'll just change the screen around. All right. So there's four pillars to SEO, and these are all really important because they all give us the ability to see, okay, well, what is it that's ultimately important? So up at the top, we have on-page SEO, right, which is the internal factors of your website. What's the website doing? You know, how's it ranking, and what can actually we can do better to be able to increase that ranking. We also have off-page SEO, right, and these are external factors of your website as well. You know, how does your site compare and compete with other sites around the world as well? We have number three, third pillar of SEO, which is content, which is producing quality content that allows you to educate your customer, right? We need to be in the state of content delivery mode almost nonstop as well. And then the fourth pillar is the technical SEO, right? So how do you make it easier for people to use your website as well? So if we put all these pieces, the four pillars together into this concept, this model, this strategy supermodel, we can actually see it a little bit differently, and we can see how it interacts. We can see what's ultimately important, and how these pieces fit together. So let's quickly go into each of these pillars a little bit further rather. So pillar number one, as I mentioned, is on-page SEO, and we have multiple sub-elements that we need to look at here, right? So we have meta titles, meta tags, titles, URLs, that sort of thing that we need to look at and see, okay, well, what's really important? How are we conveying that message within the page itself? What research and relevant keywords are you using? So if you're using keyword tools, you should be using those to highlight what exactly is important, what's relevant to you and your business, and what you're going to be talking about, and then relevant content optimization. So making sure you have the correct ratios of keywords, that you have the correct ratio, or rather the correct number of keywords as well, so that your content can actually rank. And if we put those all together, that's going to help our on-page SEO. So if we next move on to the second pillar of SEO, that's the off-page SEO, as I mentioned quickly at the beginning. And these are the external factors of your website. So there's three sub-elements, again, that are really important for us to be able to use to be able to build this. We need to know backlinks, right? Links back to your site are ultimately very important. No follow versus follow links. So are we asking the robots to stop, or to be able to not to index this page, or can we follow this link as well? And then our domain score and our page authority as well as the third element that's really important for our off-page SEO. And then the third pillar is our content, and that's producing quality content, which allows you to educate your customer, educate and inform, and talk about your business and that sort of thing. And the three sub elements are quality of content, how good is it? The keyword matches, right? What keywords are you using that people are searching for? And the relevancy of the content and the keywords. So are you using relevant keywords? Are you using long tail keywords, that sort of thing, to be able to create and escalate and elevate your content as well? And then the final pillar, the fourth pillar of SEO, search engine optimization, is technical SEO. And this is making it easier for people to use your website as well. So what's important here? Crawling, indexing, and ranking. This would what I was talking earlier about, no follow versus follow links. This allows the sites to be able to crawl your site. Indexing and ranking, obviously very important. Your website speed and the technology that you use. So how many apps are running in the background, how quickly it loads, that sort of thing. And then the UX and mobile friendliness. And look, these are all just a summary. There's obviously a lot more depth and detail that we can go to into this. But what we wanted to be able to look at from the outset is, okay, let's put all the SEO pillars together. What's ultimately important? It creates certainty, it creates clarity, and it creates competency for our business. So we're actually able to see these as leverage, as levers in our fulcrum to be able to build on this model as well. And what's ultimately important, and I'm going to show you how these all fit very, very quickly. Optimize it, traffic, and being strategic as well. So these three factors are ultimately say, okay, well, how does this actually fit with the business? These are our bigger objectives. These are our minor objectives to say, okay, how are these pieces fitting together? So when you're designing your SEO, these are the tools that you can use. These are the patterns that we can be able to use to distinguish our business and what we do and how we do it and that sort of thing. So through the magic of technology, we're able to produce this on a PDF. We print it out, cut it out, easy as, cut it to the shape, keep the tabs in there, and you can download the PDF of this as well, the 4 Pillars of SEO. If you comment Strategy SuperModel or just SuperModel in the comments, and I will send you a free PDF that allows you to see what the SEO can be used for, as well as a blank one so that you can actually use it for yourself as well. So comment Strategy SuperModel in the comments, and I'll get that off to you as well. But ultimately, we want to take this and we want to reimagine and rethink how we can actually see this. And as I've shown you, we can do that in a number of occasions as well, and allow you to kind of get more curious about, okay, well, how does this actually look? And how does it, what if we were to kind of create a shape out of our models and out of our business and that sort of thing? And what would this shape look like? And guess what? It looks like what's called a tetrahedron. But that's my engineering brain going to work. So I'm not going to go into that much further. But anyway, we cut it out, we fold it up into the pieces, and then we glue the pieces together. And I'm just going to apply the glue here so that we can fold it easy as. And you can use tape, it doesn't really matter. Or double-sided tape or whatever works. And I think I'm doing this right. Sometimes I'm not sure. And then we just fold it up into the shape of the tetrahedron. And we glue it in place as well so that it holds its shape as we get into this. Oops. There we go. And there we have it. We've got our Strategy SuperModel of SEO, right? The pillars of SEO. So on pillar number 1 is on-page SEO. Right? And again, we talked about how these factors are important, but now we can actually see how it interacts amongst each of them. So number 1 is on-page SEO. Number 2 is off-page SEO, right? External factors of your website. Number 3 is your content pillar, then the 3 elements as well. And then number 4 is your technical SEO as well. And if we see this, if we kind of rearrange it, we can see how each of these interact. Each of these faces interact with each other. So that actually gives us an extra dimension of this architecture to be able to see, okay, well, how, because we know intuitively, we know that each one of these affects the other. But this allows us to see it. This allows us to say, okay, this is what ultimately is important. And these are the factors that interact with it as well. So it's not just linear one dimension, it's multiple dimensions. And hopefully we can see that with this tool as well. And as I mentioned earlier, some of the things that we talked about were that are really important. This can be looked at as the summit, right? Competency, clarity, and certainty. And you see how they all come together. So ultimately, that's where we want to head with this. We want to head to point of clarity, point of competency, and a point of certainty as well. And as I mentioned earlier, there's also some sub priorities here that are really important. What do we want to do with SEO, with the pillars of SEO? We want to optimize, we want to be strategic, and we want to ultimately create traffic. So that allows us to do exactly what we set out to do. And we can see the model there, and that allows us to look at our search engine optimization pillars, the 4 pillars. Fantastic. So if you like a copy of the search engine optimization pillars, the 4 pillars rather, please just comment supermodel, strategy supermodel in the comments below, and I'll send one off to you, and you'll be able to build your own, and we'll also include a blank one so you can actually create that as well. So all right, that's all I wanted to show you. So thank you very much for joining. I really appreciate your time. I hope it's been helpful. Hopefully you can use this for your SEO, but also again start to think strategically of how can I use these models, these supermodels, for something that allows me to build that brand story, to build that architecture about your business, build that foundation. That's ultimately very, very important for all successful businesses. So thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.